Welcome in. How is everybody? I feel like it's been a minute since we've just had a good catch up. I've been knee deep in the Honestly Cavallari stuff between the show and the podcast and everything that we haven't really just had a moment together. And so I'm excited to catch up today and talk about the summer. And I'm actually very happy that the Honestly Cavallari of it all is behind me. As fun as it was not normal for me anymore. You know, being on TV is not part of my normal life anymore. And I've said it 1,000 times about my previous shows, but there is a level of stress that comes with being on a TV show. There just is. And promoting the show, and it was a lot. It was a lot. I know. And it's funny because right after I said I would love to do another season and I would love to do a podcast tour, and now that the dust has settled and I've taken a second, I actually don't know that I want to do either one again. I think the show and the podcast tour were both so great, you know, and the response to the show was amazing. Obviously the podcast tour, you know, was incredible, and I got what I needed from it personally, pushing myself out of my comfort zone and, you know, accomplishing my biggest fear in life. And I just don't feel like I need to do it again. And the show, I think, was so good the first season that it's like I almost don't want to put the pressure on myself to have another really good season. I don't know that I could do that again. I think we got really lucky with a lot of the natural drama, and I don't know. I don't think TV's for me anymore, is what I've realized. It's just not. It's not. And I'm so thankful I did it. I had so much fun. I loved the show, but I just don't think it's something I want to do again. I'm really happy having this podcast and Uncommon James, and that's kind of it. My work-life balance is so good that I don't think I want to rock the boat again. And I almost, in a lot of ways, like putting this out into the universe is finalizing that decision, but maybe subconsciously this is kind of what I want to do, just to be like, I just don't even want to do it again. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. I want to talk to you guys about the summer routine. You know, I am so happy and peaceful right now in my life, I feel like, because summer just does that naturally. Not only am I like such a summer baby, like shorts, flip-flops, like that's really where I thrive. But God, once you have kids and they're in school and they're in sports and everything, having a break from that madness has been so incredible. My kids are sleeping in. Camden, by the way, just woke up. It's 1:15. I just dropped him off at a friend's house, but he got up like an hour and a half ago. And I mean, it's incredible. So I have had quiet mornings. Pretty much every morning has been a quiet morning. And anyone with kids, younger kids, let me just tell you, it will come back around. There will be a day where you get to sleep in, or sleeping in for me, honestly, is 7 a.m., but it feels like sleeping in. And you will have quiet mornings again. You will be able to have your coffee without all of your kids going, Mom, hey, can I have this? Can I have that? Will you make me this? Will you do that? I am like savoring these mornings, because also my kids start school in a couple weeks, which is really crazy. We go back so early. We go back the first week in August, which honestly is criminal to me. I hate that schedule so much. We get out really early in May and then they go back really early August. I grew up always going back after Labor Day and getting out like the middle to like kind of the end of June. But I just think that schedule is so much better. I hate our school schedule here. August to me is summer. Like that is the best month of summer. And my kids are back in school. And actually my boys are starting football next week. Or no, sorry, my boys start football tomorrow. They do it twice this week, and then next week they start every day. So like we're back in the swing of things, which is so crazy because summer has flown by. But so during all of my Honestly Cavallari press, you know, I get asked a lot of the same questions in interviews. It's actually pretty rare that there's a new question. And when there is a new question, I get excited because it makes my brain actually think instead of just being robotic answering questions. But a lot of the questions were about my morning routine. And I feel like that's kind of a big topic of discussion right now is people's morning routines. And so I wanted to go over my morning routine with you guys. My summer morning routine is very different than my school morning routine, but my summer morning routine is fucking amazing. So I was just going to walk you guys through that. So what's been happening is in the morning. Well, let's back up. So I typically have a kid in bed with me. It's either Sailor or Jackson. They usually switch off every night sleeping with me. And here's what I'll tell you about that. I never did the co-sleeping thing when they were little. I mean, they always slept in their own, obviously their crib and then their own bed. Jackson did go through a phase where he came into my room every single night for about 4 years. I can't make that up. I'll talk more in depth on that. I'm going to do a parenting podcast in a few weeks. So I'm going to table that for that. But the reason I'm letting Sailor and Jackson sleep with me is because I know this is a short phase, and I know there's going to come a day where they will not sleep with me, where I couldn't pay them to sleep with me because Camden is there. Camden's been there actually for a couple years. Jackson's going into 6th grade. He's going into middle school, and he still wants to sleep with me. And I know that that's kind of unheard of. So I'll take it. I'll take it because some of my favorite moments are actually right before we go to sleep and it's just the two of us in bed. And that's why I always found when my kids will really open up and talk to me is when during the nighttime routine. And I know as parents, we're always so tired during that nighttime routine, but I used to always make a point to lay down with them, each of them individually every night, because that's when they would actually open up to me. I don't do that anymore. Like I go to bed before Camden. Camden stays up past me. So I don't have that anymore with Camden. I don't get to lay in bed with him at night and him open up to me and tell me everything. We have other moments for that, but I do miss those moments, even when I was so tired, when they were younger. And so I do get to still have that with Jackson and Sailor. And then, I think because I'm single too, it's nice to have a warm body next to me. No, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, so what happens typically is when Jackson sleeps with me, I mean, that kid will sleep through anything. I can wake up. I could even take a shower. I can wash my face and brush my teeth and the kid will stay in bed. But Sailor, on the other hand, will kind of then get up when I get up. So the mornings, though, where everyone does sleep in, I will come out. The first thing I do is I let my dogs out. And then I'll really walk you through all the details. I take a probiotic first thing, and then I do amino acids on an empty stomach because I've tested everything in my body through my doctor, and I'm low on aminos. So I do that every morning, and then I wait maybe like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I make breakfast. I eat breakfast every single morning. I do it even if I'm not super hungry, and I always try to do it within an hour of being awake. And what I have found doing that, and I don't drink coffee until I have food in my stomach. What I have found doing that is I have way more energy. I eat a big breakfast too. And so I'm full. I'm full. I don't even think about food until probably like noon. And then, and by the way, I'm usually getting out of bed around 7. I'm usually up before that, anywhere between like usually 5:30 and 6:30. But I will kind of just lay in bed for a few minutes and take my time getting out of bed because, you don't get to do that during the school year. And then what I make for breakfast is I usually do 3 eggs. Depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll do a scrambled egg bowl and I'll put either goat cheese or feta cheese in it, scallions. I have these pickled jalapenos and red onions that are so good that I don't make. There was a phase of my life where I would make all of this stuff. I just don't have the time anymore. But there's a little place by me called Urban Market that I love, and they make one, and it's amazing. And then sometimes I'll do bacon in there, not always. That's kind of the gist of it. Or I'll do hard-boiled eggs. I'll do a ton of berries and avocado. I'll put avocado in my bowl too. Or sometimes I'll do fried eggs and sourdough toast. It just kind of depends on what my mood is, but I always do eggs. And then I do coffee, and my coffee I just do black coffee, and then I do maple syrup, a little vanilla paste, and raw cream that I get from a farm out here by me. You guys, this coffee is so fucking good. It's so good that there's nowhere I'll go and buy a coffee that even comes close. I hate getting coffee from other places. I only ever want to drink coffee at home because it's so good. And while I am drinking coffee, whatever, it depends. I will sometimes do emails, catch up on text messages and whatnot. I will sometimes scroll social media. Not proud of it, but I do it. And right now I just started a puzzle, so I'll work on my puzzle. I'm back in my puzzle girl era. I love a puzzle. I love a puzzle so much. I find them to be so incredibly therapeutic. Just totally shutting your brain off and just focusing on this one thing is so nice for me. And then I do the dishes. Oh, I feed my dog somewhere in there. But it's just like, my point is, it's a very slow, nice morning with no distractions. And then after I've dilly-dallied around for a minute, then I'll put on my workout clothes, I'll wash my face, I'll do all the things, and then I'll work out. Not every morning. The Tuesdays I go into the office, I don't work out on Tuesdays because then I just hop in the shower and I get ready. But having these mornings remind me of my early 20s before I had kids, because that's kind of what I would do in the mornings. And so my point is, moms with young kids, know there will come a day where you will have those quiet, amazing mornings again. It is so nice. And my days are just they're kind of chill right now. I'm basically an Uber driver for my kids. My boys always want to be with friends right now. Always. So they're both going into middle school. Camden's going to be in 7th grade and Jackson's going to be in 6th. And I noticed a shift. 5th grade, it really started. And then middle school, 6th grade, it was like, bye. I'm never going to see you ever again. My boys are obsessed with their friends right now, and they're very rarely home anymore. I'm putting in a pool. I'm going to turn my barn into a basketball court in the hopes that my house can actually be the house that the kids want to hang out at. But right now we're kind of in this limbo phase and there's not a lot for my kids to do at the house. So they don't really want to be here. There's this little community by me and they ride their bikes around and they're with all their friends and that's what they want to do all the time. So it's kind of sad because there really is a shift as the kids get older that it just changes. It changes. And I still have my little say baby. She's going into 4th grade, but she wants to be with her friends too. It's not as much, but it's kind of, I feel like, been her and I pretty much this whole summer of just the girls. And I'm always like, Say, what should we do? Sailor and I've been watching a lot of movies, like old school movies. We've watched Dirty Dancing. We just watched The Dark Knight. She may have been a little young for that one. Don't judge me for that. But we watched Ghost. We've watched Now and Then, like really good movies that I used to love. And it's so fun because she loves them. Oh, we watched The Notebook and she loves these movies. It's been really fun. So you guys, I never watch movies. I never watch TV. So this has been really nice for me, this slower paced life, post, honestly, Cavallari. I'm just eating it up. And we've been going to friends' houses and we've been doing all the things. And so also on that note, it's been my spicy marg summer. I told you guys about this, my summer marg recipe. So Astral is this new tequila that I have discovered that I am obsessed with. It's really smooth. It's really nice. And so if you're only listening, it's a really pretty bottle. It has a blue label and I have a whole bar set up in my house. And they actually just sent me like a bedazzled bottle, which is awesome. It looks so cool on my bar. So it's a fun one to put up on your bar too. And so my marg recipe has always been and forever will be. So it's a good quality tequila. Astral is what I've been using this summer. And fresh lime juice, sparkling water. I don't do club soda. I do sparkling water. And jalapenos. I didn't have any, so mine right now is actually not spicy, but you can throw a little maple syrup in it if you want it to be a touch sweet. It's really good. So try my recipe, try Astral with it, because Astral has these citrus notes and you really can taste them and it's really smooth. I did a little taste test on another podcast of just the tequila, which I don't care. Everyone's like, oh, this is a sipping tequila. I'm like, I don't care. I will never sip tequila. Like I can't do that, but I did just try it on its own and it was really good. And you can taste those citrus notes. So definitely try that. Astral is the tequila that I've been using to make margs at home, like I said. And Astral gives back by helping build homes for others. So each bottle of Astral tequila produced helps continue the cycle of giving back. After the tequila making process, the leftover agave fibers are upcycled into adobe bricks, which are then used to build homes for the local community in Jalisco, Mexico, which is incredible that they do that. So not only are you getting a good tequila, but you are also helping support that by buying this tequila, which is awesome. So, guys, House Mark Summer is here. It's been here, and it's time to stock up. Go to www.astraltequila.com to find a straw near you. And don't forget the limes. Also, please enjoy responsibly. Make sure you are enjoying responsibly. So, okay, check out that tequila. So, the other thing I was going to tell you guys about. Oh, but honestly, why I thought of this was because we were actually with a bunch of friends last night, all the kids and all the adults, Jason Waller from Laguna Beach being one of them. And I brought a bottle of this over and we made the margaritas and everyone was saying how good it was. So I think you guys will like it too. Okay, but the other thing I was going to tell you guys about is that I spoke on a panel for the Today Show in New York City, and the questions that I was asked were the best questions I've ever been asked in an interview, on a panel, anything. It was the most fun I've had on a panel. And a lot of the questions were geared towards Uncommon Beauty and Uncommon James. It was an entrepreneur panel. And those were all great questions, but there were a lot of questions about finding myself and being authentic and like really similar questions to what I get from a lot of you listeners, or when I do the Q&As on Instagram, or I ask my Instagram followers to submit questions for the podcast. There's always sort of this theme with questions that I get about confidence, not being a people pleaser, how I've managed to go from one chapter to the next in my life. And what I realized doing this panel, which by the way was to mostly women. I mean, I was in a room of probably 200 women or so. And what I realized doing this panel was that I think women everywhere are searching for these answers, or at least looking for guidance for a lot of this stuff about finding yourself and being true to yourself and doing the things that you want to do. I think as women, we feel pulled in so many different directions, being a mom, being a wife, working, we have to wear a lot of hats and it can be really difficult. And I think women kind of don't know what to do anymore. There's a lot of pressure on us right now to be everything and to do everything. And that offers a lot of challenges. And, I've never looked at myself as someone who has like figured it out, but I actually think I kind of have in a lot of ways in that regard, meaning I'm really good at saying no. I have gotten my work-life balance to a really great place, and it's been a lot of trial and error, but I've gotten here. And so after this panel, it was like a light bulb moment being like, I get why I get these questions now all the time, because I kind of didn't, to be completely honest with you. Even on my tour, and you saw a little bit of it on, honestly, Cavallari, I do get a lot of questions about like, how should I not be a people pleaser? How do you have this much confidence? And I sometimes am like, or I used to be like, I don't understand why people look at me like that, but I think I get it now. And so I wanted to answer two of the questions for you guys that I was asked on this panel, because I think that's why I have this podcast, is to be able to share the things I've learned over the years and how to get your life to a place to serve you, and where you can breathe a little and you can have a little bit more peace in your life, and where you can feel proud of yourself, and where you can actually get to a place of being like, hey, you know what? Actually, I don't have to do everything.
All right, guys, let's take a quick second to talk about Element.
If you are not familiar with Element, well, they are a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix and now sparkling electrolyte water born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. I talk about Element very often because I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed for years. I love all of their flavors, but specifically, I know this sounds crazy, their chili mango. Try it. It has a nice little kick to it. I know it sounds kind of funky, but it has quickly become my absolute favorite. I kind of go through phases. Grapefruit is a standout of mine, and their most recent lemonade flavor was really good. That's a limited time, so if you haven't gotten your hands on that one, definitely get your hands on it. But with it being so hot, and right now I'm working out in my barn, which in Nashville, it's been about 95 degrees. So I've been sweating my ass off. And so electrolytes for me specifically have been so incredibly important. And right now, Element is offering a free sample pack with any purchase. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/honest. This deal is only available through my link. So, guys, you must be going to drinklmnt.com/honest. All right, let's talk about Skims. You guys know I've said it a million times. I really did not want to like Skims. I'll be very honest about that. But I do. The product speaks for itself, you guys. Skims is actually really great. I can't say enough good stuff about all of their bras and their underwear. I mean, I have their Fits Everybody plunge bra, and you guys, this bra has quickly become my go-to everyday bra. The fabric is buttery soft and it's stretchy, yet it moves with me and it just never feels stiff or tight. And I just love how it completely disappears underneath my clothes. I think all of us women are always looking for that perfect bra for a t-shirt, and well, that is definitely it. And I do pair it with my Fits Everybody thong. It's everything you want in your underwear. So check it out if you have not yet, guys. You can shop my favorite bras and underwear at skims.com. And after you place your order, please be sure to let them know that I sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select Let's Be Honest in the drop-down menu that follows. Let's chat about Nutrafol. If you guys follow me at all, then you know I've been singing Nutrafol's praises for a long time now. I've been taking it for about 2 years, and I have noticed a huge, huge difference with my hair. And as we all know, summer is full of big moments, lots of weddings, vacations, endless photos. But if you're dealing with hair thinning or shedding, well, showing up and being present in those moments might feel kind of tough. Nutrafol takes a whole body approach to hair growth, working from the inside out. So the sooner you start, the sooner you'll be feeling confident and focusing on what matters to you. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. It's trusted by over 1.5 million people. Anything truly worthwhile takes time and effort. And with Nutrafol, you'll see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair and less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. Like I said, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair. So I'm really thankful to Nutrafol. So guys, this summer, stop worrying about your hair also and start making memories. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code HONEST. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. That is spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code HONEST. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code HONEST. I used to find my value and my worth through my accomplishments, through work. And I no longer am like that. And it's not because all of a sudden, I have a lot more on my resume, or it's because I have found inner peace and I've realized that I'm whole. And so that brings me to the first question. And so the first question is, for women, finding themselves can be quite a journey. As you've grown, what have you learned about yourself over the years? And so that's what I'm kind of saying is, Well, first, what I've learned about myself is that I had no idea who I was until the last few years. I really thought in my 20s and even my early 30s, I really had a good handle on who I was. And it wasn't until the last few years that I've really, really done a deep dive that I realized I was a lost little puppy. I had no idea. And in a lot of ways, I was on autopilot and I was searching for all of the wrong things in all of the wrong places. So, what I've actually learned is that everybody, myself included, we all have everything we need inside of ourselves. We all, I think at one point in time, I know in everyone's life, we've all looked to the outside world to fill some sort of a void, and it's different for everybody. I never thought I was enough, right? Like that was my sort of my subconscious movie that was playing for years and years. And, we've talked about it. I got that from my dad and having a narcissistic dad and everything else. And I did, I did work. I was always in therapy. I did the work, but I think there's a piece of just getting older too. And I think, in your late 30s, you start to really kind of not give a shit what other people think, and your priorities just shift. And I think becoming a mom also changes things, priorities and everything else. But when I finally understood that I am enough, I am whole, that actually changed my life, because I no longer am chasing things to temporarily fill that void. And work is, for me, it's a good example because that was always my biggest driver, was, the more money I could make, the more accomplishments I had, like that was my value. And I think, it's interesting, the timing of honestly Cavallari and me kind of walking away from that and being like, well, okay, I was talking to another producer actually who wanted to do another show with me. And I told her, I said, and I've worked with her before and I love her. And I just said, I don't have it in me anymore. I no longer have that drive to chase that thing. And she was like, what happened? And I was like, I don't think I'm toxic anymore. Like, I think I felt like I fucking healed myself. I think the entertainment world does attract a lot of broken people. And it's so obvious to me now because Hollywood and entertainment is all it is outside validation. And I don't have it in me. To me, my happiness now is being home and being with my kids and not having to chase something. And this podcast for me is so different than anything I've ever done, because this podcast has been really therapeutic in a lot of ways for me, to be able to control my voice and have my real voice out there. And I mean, we've talked about it 1,000 times. And also just from a creative standpoint too, to be able to have the conversations that I want to have, that's been really fun for me. I've gotten way more out of this podcast than I've gotten from any TV show I've ever done. I mean, I actually don't know that I don't know that there's anything I've gotten from a TV show that I've done that's like really fueled me or like made my heart happy. As cheesy as that is, I don't know how else to say it. Where this podcast has been really, it's filled me up. The podcast has filled me up, where I feel like the TV shows kind of take that away. And it's almost like it like dims my light a little bit and like takes a piece of me. Where I do feel like the older I've gotten, the more I'm trying to protect my energy. And obviously being on a TV show, it's really hard to protect your energy. And so, but how I've been able to get here. So I guess my answer to the question is, I think I would encourage everyone to really do a deep dive into yourself and, figure out what your struggles are. We all have struggles. Everyone has underlying issues, a theme of their life, whatever it may be, and it's different for everyone. But getting to the root of that and really healing yourself and loving yourself, not in that cheesy frou-frou way, not in the bullshit, like trendy way, but like really accepting yourself, flaws and all, knowing that none of us are perfect and still loving ourselves and supporting ourselves and speaking to ourselves like we would our best friend or like we would our kids. And, because I think a lot of people, we have this loop playing in our minds, and it can be really negative. We're our own worst critics, and we can be so critical of ourselves and so negative. And it's retraining your thoughts. Anytime you notice that you have a negative thought towards yourself, flip it and put a positive spin on it. And it takes work. I mean, it takes a lot of work. I still have to do it with certain things, but being hyper aware of your thoughts and being able to take control of them makes a difference. It really does. Everything is energy, and thoughts are energy. Where your focus goes, energy flows. We've all heard that saying, and it's true. That's why focusing on gratitude is really important, because then it makes the things that you're grateful for more magnetic. It enhances everything. And I'd say just try it. There's no harm in just trying that, and you will have the negative self-talk trying to seep in. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And I swear to God, it makes a difference. But also figuring out what's important to you. What makes you happy? What things do you want to do? Listen, obviously as parents, we have to do things we don't want to do all the time, but the things that you can control, you can control. And I know for me, a big thing is I'm really good at saying no, because I know myself, and I know if I'm spread too thin, I start to stress out. I get anxiety. I feel like I'm then not doing anything to the best of my capabilities. Then I'm not the best mom. Then I'm not all in on my podcast. Then I'm not giving Uncommon James 100%. If I'm spread too thin, it shows. Maybe not to the outside world, but I know. And so I've learned that I'm only saying yes to the things that really make me happy. And not only with work, that's huge for work, but also in my social life. I know that most of the time I want to be in bed by 9:30 still. I know that the days where I'm really busy, I'm then at night not going to want to go to a friend's house, even with all of my kids. I just have realized how to balance my schedule so that I'm never overwhelmed, because it can be easy for me to get overwhelmed. And when I feel overwhelmed, shit hits the fan. And I don't like that feeling. And so it's allowing time in my day and spreading everything out. I mean, my friends always laugh at me. I was even making a plan with a girlfriend this morning, and we're not going to see each other for, I think it's 3 or 4 weeks. But that's just, if I was a people pleaser and I'm like, oh, well, my friend needs to see me, wants to see me, I would try to cram everything in. You have to get to a place of knowing what works for you and then acting accordingly. And that makes a huge difference. I think life is short, and our lives are for us. This is my life. And I need to be setting my schedule and doing the things that are going to bring me joy and make me happy, as should everybody else. Everyone should be living their life like that. Because, by the way, when you do things that make you happy, when you're living authentically and being yourself and doing the things that you want to be doing, you vibrate differently. Again, everything is energy. This might be a little woo-woo for some people, but it's the truth. It's all about vibration and that energy that you carry. And when you're living in your truth and you're moving throughout your day from a place of joy and happiness, rather than you're mad, you're kind of bitter and mad that you're doing something, you're a little resentful that you're going to do this thing, it's like, it just changes the whole course of your entire day and your whole mood and your energy. That was a really long-winded answer. I did not go into that much detail on the panel, because that would have been like the whole panel. But really, I just think those things are important. And then the second question I wanted to do with you guys is, you've successfully pivoted through many chapters, stages of your life, from your brand to motherhood, etc. How have you pivoted from one chapter to the next? So this question is interesting for me, because For me, it's never been a conscious thing of, okay, now I'm going to be a businesswoman and I'm going to launch a brand. Now I'm in my mom era. Like everything has just naturally happened. And I am someone who runs off of instinct, who I have a gut feeling. I go, I don't overthink things. I don't question things. I've always been like that. I've always been really in sync with my gut feeling. I've had to learn over the years that it's my best compass and to really trust it. And by the way, everyone has it. You have a gut too. It's whether you're tuned into it or not. And I would say start really paying attention to it, and it will never steer you in the wrong direction. I've ignored it and it's always bitten me in the ass, and I feel it in my whole body when I ignore it. And then I get really mad at myself when I do ignore it. So I have learned to always trust my gut feeling, and it's the best thing that we all have. But everything I've done in my life has just been natural. When I became a mom, becoming a mom was actually the most natural thing I've ever done. And becoming a mom really gave me purpose and identity. Not in a way though, like I think when you look to kids to, again, fill a void, that's really dangerous because, again, no one can fill those voids for you. And I hate to use the word using your kids, but using your kids to fill that void is not fair to the kids. And also, what happens then when they graduate high school? I mean, you're going to be a mess all over again. I love entertaining, especially in the summertime. I love having people over and being outside. And so that's why I want to talk to you guys about Wayfair. I have been browsing the Wayfair website because I am not able to entertain right now since I'm doing some work to my house. I'm currently putting in a pool and I'm building a pool house, which will be my gym. So my yard right now is a mess. But what I am starting to do is make mood boards and pay attention to the aesthetic that I want out there by my pool, what kind of lounge chairs I want, and just the overall vibe. So I've been browsing Wayfair's website, and let me tell you, they have absolutely everything imaginable. They have everything from, of course, chaise lounges and club chairs to trampolines and swing sets and cornhole, lots of fun games. They've got outdoor dining tables and sets. Wayfair's huge selection of outdoor items makes it easy to find exactly what's right for you. And they have free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. So no more huge delivery fees for patio furniture, which makes a huge difference. And then you can get big stuff like patio sets, gazebos, hot tubs, outdoor dining sets, and more, all shipped free. Yeah, you heard that right. It's all shipped free. So check out Wayfair for all of your outdoor needs. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to explore a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right, let's chat about O Positive. O Positive is a women's health company. They offer a range of symptom targeting supplements that support women at every stage of life, from their first period to well beyond their last. They are proud to have the best selling women's health products at Target and on Amazon. The Urovaginal Probiotics is one of the top 5 supplements on Amazon, and they have multiple number one products in Target for intimate care, PMS, and menopause categories. So maybe you're asking yourself, what is so special about O Positive's products? Well, I'm going to tell you. They create real, tangible results with ingredients that are backed by clinical studies and shaped by board certified doctors. O Positive is committed to breaking down stigmas and addressing issues many women experience, everything from hormone health, vaginal health, menopause, and so much more. Uro is a probiotic blend specifically formulated to support vaginal health, balance healthy vaginal pH, support healthy vaginal smell, and maintain healthy vaginal flora. When taken daily, which is 2 capsules a day, Uro delivers noticeable benefits within 8 weeks. Many also see results sooner. Many customers talk about how the improvement in vaginal health led to greater confidence as well as better sex and intimacy. So take proactive care of your health and head to opositive.com/honest or enter Honest at checkout for 25% off your first purchase. That's OPOSITIV.com/honest for 25% off. Here's a new brand I'm excited to talk to you guys about, and that is Simply Pop. Simply has launched a new prebiotic soda, Simply Pop, the new juicy soda. There are 5 flavors: pineapple mango, lime, strawberry, citrus punch, and fruit punch. They are made with real fruit juice, and Simply Pop supports gut health with 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. There's no sugar added, and it's sweetened with juices and monk fruit extract. They support immune health with zinc and vitamin C, and Simply Pop is flavor that pops. So guys, see what the fizz is all about. Simply Pop is a new fruit-forward bevy that happens when you combine the delicious real fruit flavors of Simply with 6 grams of prebiotic fiber to support gut health. I personally love their strawberry flavor because I love anything strawberry, so I was really excited to try their strawberry flavor. And you guys, it was so good. But honestly, I've tried all of them and they're all really good. I even love having peace of mind giving these to my kids, knowing that it's great for their gut health, it's great for their immune system. So we are loading up on these things. All right, you guys are going to want to try these if you haven't already. Find Simply Pop and any of its 5 juicy flavors by visiting them online at cokeurl.com/simplypop. That's cokeurl.com/simplypop. cokeurl.com/simplypop. Being a mom is what I came here to do. It just is. Here's the thing too. It's like the world got introduced to me at age 17. Well, of course you're going to see different chapters in my life and moments because the world has kind of seen me grow up, you know? And so, but it's never been this conscious thing. I have just always done what I've wanted to do. And so my advice here would be, it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to try something new. It's never too late to do whatever you want to do. Maybe that's launch a business. Maybe that's pick up a new hobby. Maybe that's go back to school. Maybe that's go do a cooking class. Maybe whatever it is for you, it's never too late. It's literally never too late. And that's where I've been lucky, is that I've been able to try so many different things and do so many different things. I'm really thankful for that. You know, I've been able to host. I've been able to write books. I've been able to, you know, launch my own business. I've done a lot of different things, and I am really thankful for that. But I think what happens with a lot of people is fear stops them from doing ultimately what they want to do. And we have to get out of our own way to live a happy, fulfilled life, because fear is just it's the worst emotion. Is fear even a real emotion? You know how they say anger is not a real emotion. Fear might not be a real emotion. Don't quote me on that, but it's an illusion. Fear is an illusion. Fear is not real. Like, what is fear? That's just your mind playing tricks on you. If you can drop into your heart, I've learned this in hypnotherapy because I used to be really in my head. I've said this on the podcast, but a long time ago, so I'll say it again. The very first time I did hypnotherapy was at, what's it called? The We Care Center, the We Care Spa or something in Palm Springs. I used to go. I haven't been in years, but I did hypnotherapy for the very first time there. And in that session, my dad, of course, came up and I said to her, I know in my head that my dad loves me. I just don't feel it in my heart. And she said, it's actually the opposite. You know in your heart, like our hearts know. My heart knows deep down that my dad actually loves me, but my head is the one playing tricks on me. And that sort of shifted everything for me. It's our human mind will fuck with us on a daily basis. We have to learn how to drop into our hearts and trust our heart and our gut feeling. It's learning how to bring it down and tune in and get out of your head. Our heads fuck us on a daily basis. And that's where fear lives. Fear lives in our head. There's no fear in our hearts, you guys. And I guess what I would say is if you do want to try something new, what's the worst that could happen? So, okay, let's say you want to launch a business. Well, first I would say don't put all of your eggs in one basket, meaning don't quit your day job, but launch it. And then, okay, if nothing happens, then nothing happens, but at least you tried. And I would also argue that, well, if it's a creative outlet, it wasn't for nothing. Even if it doesn't take off, even if it's not the most successful company, is it doing something for you creatively? Is it fulfilling something in you? Because that's not a loss. And I just think, I think with fear, a lot of times it's like, well, what will the neighbor down the street say? What will the moms at school say? What will my husband think? Who cares? We have to stop caring what other people think and even kind of other people's opinions, because at the end of the day, we only know what's best for us. And this can spill over into fucking every area of your life, as a mom, as a businesswoman, as a friend, as a health, like what health you're into, like whatever it is, only you truly know what's best for you. And so I would say it's really important to just get in touch with yourself. And I think that's actually the hardest part for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know who they are. And where I have started with that is writing. I think writing is for me, and I know, listen, not for everybody, maybe painting for other people, whatever it is. But find what is an emotional outlet for you that you can start really learning yourself. I've always loved just free writing. And if you need a prompt for writing, or like if you really want to know what's important to you, someone told me this. I've talked about this on the podcast too, but what you can do. So let's say there's something that you want, okay? We can use me as an example. I really want a relationship. Okay. So what you'll do is you take a piece of paper, at the top of it, you say, I really want a relationship. And then you say, why? You answer it, why again? You keep going, do it, like ask why 20 times. You will quickly learn where that want is coming from. I think the second or third line, I was like, oh my God, fucking light bulb. Got it, right? Which, again, I've talked about this on the podcast, but I know not everyone listens to every single episode. So I do think sometimes it's important to say these things again, because that is an awesome prompt about just like really getting to the nitty gritty about why you actually want something. Because then a lot of times what it does is it takes the power away. That's a little bit different than what we were talking about, but that is just a good prompt for people. But it's really getting in tune with yourself. It's figuring out what you want. This is your life. Go out there and chase your dreams, or go out there and just live a more peaceful, fulfilled life. Live more authentically you. I think that's all we can do, is to live authentically ourselves. So I don't know. I hope that's helpful. And I also think the other thing too is really just giving ourselves some grace, knowing that we're not superwoman. We sometimes can't do it all, and that's actually okay. It's okay not to be able to do it all, and that we're all really just doing the best that we can. And that's the most important. And I think owning that and just being able to say, I tried, I'm trying, every day it's not perfect, and that's okay, I think is also really important, because we're all just human. We're all figuring it out as we go. And I think giving each other empathy and grace is also really important, because at the end of the day, we're all fighting a battle, and we don't know I know nothing about your battle. And just the same way you don't really know anything about mine. You guys know a little bit, because I share a little bit on the podcast, but I think just having more grace and empathy for ourselves and people in general is really important. So that's it, you guys. I am off the podcast for the next 2 weeks. I'm taking a break. I'm going to ride out this peaceful, calm wave a little bit longer, and I'm excited about that. And then we will hit it hard this fall, and that's it. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer. I hope everyone is in a more relaxed routine like I am, and you guys know I love you so much, and I appreciate you listening as always. I will see you guys in a few weeks.